Killers of the Flower Moon is the latest Martin Scorcese film based on the 2017 book of the same name by David Grann. It tells the story of Osage Nation tribal members who became rich after oil was discovered on their reservation lands, which motivated certain white people to concoct a plan to manipulate and kill those with riches that they wanted for themselves. Over 20 Osage people were killed within a short period of time, and the lack of investigations into those murders sparks the Osage people to travel to Washington, D.C. to ask for help. It's not until the Bureau of Investigation show up unannounced that hard questions are asked, and a deeper look into who was involved is finally initiated. In this clip, Tom White, played by Jesse Plemons, confronts Ernest Burkhart, played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
I was sent down from Washington, D.C. to see about these murders.
See what about them?
See who's doing it.
You a detective? You a Pinkerton? What are you?
No, sir, I was a Texas Ranger. I'm now with the federal government. It's called the Bureau of Investigation.
I tell you what, if you got questions, I'll go talk to the sheriff. He can probably tell you what you need to know.
Oh, yes, sir, I have. I talked to him, but I'm here to speak with Molly Burkhart, whose sisters and mother is dead. Yeah.
Molly? Yeah, no, she's my wife.
Killers of the Flower Moon is a film that falls into a category that educates me in a way that history books or reel-to-reel films in high school never could or never even covered. Films like Saving Private Ryan, Schindler's List, Titanic, Gangs of New York, and a plethora of others, they take real events and fictionalize a story within those events, creating feelings of empathy towards what they're going through in the film. Killers of the Flower Moon expands a time in the 1920s that I was completely unaware of. I hope I'm not the only viewer of this film that came out of this with a deeper understanding and respect of the Native American people and what they went through during that time in our history. Leonardo DiCaprio plays Ernest Burkhart. Ernest Burkhart is not the most likable type of person. He's manipulatable, which Robert De Niro's character, William Hale, takes complete advantage of. Ernest makes a lot of mistakes in this film. He gives this character a depth that you want to believe that this guy isn't all in on his uncle's plan to bilk the Osage people out of their money, or at least not his wife. But you just don't know. You never really know. Leonardo DiCaprio plays this so well. I mean, it goes without saying, he's a master of his craft, and Martin Scorcese directing him is a 1-2 punch. Robert De Niro plays William Hale, and Robert De Niro is as good as he ever was, and he manipulates his nephew and his son to carry out these things in order to bilk the Osage people out of their money that they got from oil that was discovered on their lands.
You gonna kill this Indian?
How'd you know?
I don't want to give any spoilers, and it's hard not to. I mean, unless you're a history person, it's hard not to tell you the events of the story. But I will tell you, it's emotional. I didn't cry at this one, but it got me. I would say I was angry that the events happened, but it's a sad time in our history. To think that there are people out there like that would do that type of thing. Lily Gladstone plays Molly Burkhart, and she was absolutely wonderful. It's going to be a shame if this film isn't nominated for an Oscar, because the entire cast was phenomenal. But Lily gave Molly such a deep understanding of the Osage people, and the mixture of the Osage language mixed with English in this movie is great. I mean, they really did their homework with this. Not that I would know the difference if they faked it, but they've been praised from the Osage people themselves how well represented this movie was for them. So I'm going to take them at their word. DiCaprio improvised this scene right here.
Onkashi. Shomikasi Shiekoshiajimi.
What was that?
Shomikasi. That's how you are.
I don't know what she said, but it must have been Indian for handsome devil.
Lily's portrayal of Molly in that scene was completely authentic because she had no idea DiCaprio was going to do that. There was a part in this movie where usually it'll have subtitles when they're speaking Osage, but there are a couple different areas where they don't, and you kind of get just the rhythm of the scene on what's going on. You don't necessarily need to know the words, which I thought was a great choice. It was really well done. 3.5 hours this movie is, and I understand if some of the older audience can't sit for 3.5 hours in a theater. I mean, back in the day when I saw Dances with Wolves, they had an intermission. That was a 3-hour movie. Why they don't have an intermission just for the bathroom breaks alone at like the 2-hour mark is, I don't know. I mean, I can understand it because you definitely want the flow to keep going. And that's what I love about going to the theater to watch a movie. You don't have your phone. You don't have people, you know, the kids, the dog to take out. You're totally focused on the movie at hand. The pace kept going, in my opinion, and I know others may get bored with this whole thing, but I'm biased. I am a Scorsese fan. Jesse Plemons plays Tom White, as you saw in the clip. He was great. Loved him ever since Breaking Bad. I've seen him in a number of different things, and he is on point as the lead investigator into the crimes that plague the Osage people. These moments in the film when there's no words spoken and it's just close-ups or, you know, camera shots panning across a crowd, or you can feel those moments and you can really understand the feeling that Molly seems to be going through. I would give this movie a hard 10. I mean, I don't want to do the traditional rating system, but 10 out of 10. Man, this is Oscar worthy in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't care about the awards, but some of the best performances I've ever seen, and I got an education out of it, and it didn't feel like schoolwork to me. It's got some interesting cameos in there. I liked seeing some A-listers make an appearance in this movie that I was not aware of. I will not list them here. It was nice to see. And at the ending, where lots of times they'll let you know what happened as far as the results of the events that you saw in the movie, it wasn't just a thing you read on the screen. They actually let you know in a very unique way. And I was happy to see who narrated that. So Killers of the Flower Moon. If you see it, let me know how you liked it. Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your opinion of it. Thanks, and be kind to each other.